Welcome back to the Lucky Dig Pickleball Club. My name is Adam, and I'm here to do a review on a paddle that I've been very excited to share with everyone. So buckle up, let's get started. All right, welcome back. I'm super excited about this review, and I've been wanting to share this for a while now. I feel like in a sea of paddles out there, I kind of found a unicorn, although I guess you could say Firefly, because that's the name of the company. It's probably a company that a lot of people haven't heard of. It was very hard to find any reviews out there. There's a couple, but they're very short, and I feel like I want to do this justice by giving a little bit more of a longer review, so I got a lot to cover. I'll get to why I chose Firefly initially, but first, some things that excited me when I did find them. One, all of their paddles are made in factories that are 100% solar power, and their packaging says that it's plastic and foam free, and it's made of 100% recycled materials. There's a nice sustainability effort there that I appreciate. Will it offset the carbon footprint of, you know, it being shipped from the factory to the warehouse and then to your house? Probably not, right? But again, I think we're in a place where I can appreciate a company actually putting some effort into it. So I do appreciate that. So here's the Firefly S1. I believe the S stands for standard because it's a standard shape, 16 by 8. They do have an elongated version as well, which is 16.5 by 7.5. So if you're an elongated person and you want that, they have that option as well. Colorway, they have this faded blue or all white. From here down, it is 14.5 millimeters thick, and you notice it has an edgeless design. I do appreciate the edgeless look and the cleanliness of it. So why did I decide to review this Firefly paddle, and how did I even find them? Because really, I'm sure no one's heard of them, but what I was looking for was a paddle that was using a foam core instead of a honeycomb core. I feel like it's common knowledge that almost all the paddles out there use a polypropylene honeycomb core, or they use what's called Nomex, but I've been looking for a foam core and not EVA or spray foam. This is USA Pickleball approved because it's using a solid foam core. The only other paddle that I know of that uses a solid foam core like this is the Adidas Metal Bone, which props to Adidas. I love that design. It's a beautiful looking paddle, but it's $250 unless you find it on sale for $205 or something. And it's a little steep, but I was really looking to find a standout paddle that might give you a different edge. And I think I found that with Firefly. I really enjoy playing with this paddle. Because of the foam, what you're gonna get is a sweet spot that pretty much extends way wider than traditional honeycomb. Now, manufacturers have fixed some of the honeycomb problems because they've done sprayed edges and stuff like that, which helps kind of extend it. You also deal with delamination and core crushing. You're not getting that with this paddle. This paddle is solid, 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 where you have a full sheet of foam that is bonded to the face layers, where if you think about honeycomb, here is a 3D printed representation of honeycomb, and obviously you can see that you have all these little edge lines that are allowing you to bond to a surface, and that's it, right? All this air gap isn't giving you any bonding, but it reduces weight and it helps with sound and other things, right? And you talk about the edge, right? You can see here why manufacturers started spraying foam in here, because you get these little offshoots of the cells that are cut to make your shape, and now you're losing out on sturdiness and stuff like that. So I was looking for a foam paddle because I already kind of assumed the benefits of a foam paddle, and Firefly knows the benefits too. They're advertising durability, reliability, consistency, all of those things. And I've been using this paddle for about a month, month and a half, and look at the surface. So let's get into that, okay? First, durability wise, the surface looks great. I've been playing with it for about a month, month and a half. I obviously can't speak long term, but based on my research, There is an obvious difference between using foam and honeycomb, and I would imagine that that would apply to this. This dense foam is not soft like EVA foam. It's not soft like the spray foam that they're using. This foam is used in like the wings of an airplane and stuff like that. Again, paddle companies are using composite manufacturing that are in other categories, and they've just adapted it to sports equipment, right? But I can see the advantage of using foam. I mean, it's all across. It sounds different. It's a little higher pitched. It sounds interesting, but I do think it gives you a little bit more of an intimidation factor if you're really like hitting it. But yeah, let's get into how it plays. One of my favorite things to do with this paddle is serve. It is so fun to serve with this paddle. I don't know that I serve it out. It's really fascinating. I can put as much heat on this as I want, and it feels like it just stays in.
Good serve. Distraction, Megan. Good serve. 1-1-1.
All right.
Shit.
I think if you were to take anything away from this review, this is one of the most fun paddles I've played with. And it's USA Pickleball approved, so if you wanted to play in tournaments with it, you can. And they have the two shapes, right? This is so fun. And I was so confused by the way this played, and I kept racking my brain on trying to figure out how to explain it. I kept taking notes, you know, after a couple play sessions, trying to dial in what it was, because here's my take. What it feels like is a control paddle that's not giving me crazy pop and spin, but it's responsive like a thinner, more power paddle. And after looking through my notes and kind of trying to figure it out, what I think they've done here is they've almost made a near zero pop paddle. It's giving you power, and it's giving you control, and it almost has no pop, so it's a linear curve. It gives you what you put in. Because of that almost linear power input to output, it's a very predictable paddle. And I love that, especially for somebody who is chasing consistency in their game. I really enjoy that about this, and I think that's one thing I love the most about this paddle. The one downside to this paddle, as you may have noticed, is there is no peel ply texture like a lot of the paddles are coming out with now. So there is a texture here, but it's not that peel ply texture. So your spin will be capped. But at the same sense, I do know that there's plenty of paddles. Last night I played with somebody with a head paddle, a Selkirk paddle, and a Friday paddle, all not having that traditional grit, and they love their paddles and they do well. So I know people play with those paddles, and I do think that grit can be a little bit of a crutch for some people if you're not at the level to benefit from it. So that is the one thing. Firefly, if this had a peel ply texture to it, boy, this would be a hard paddle to turn down for me.
I saw you say that.
So again, if you've seen my reviews, I try to incorporate other players just as a hot take, one game, just to see what they think of the paddle. So let's check out Aldi. He usually plays with a Friday paddle, I think one of their beginner ones, but because of the paddle he plays with, I thought this would be a really good paddle for him to try because he's not out there utilizing a lot of spin in his gameplay. So this wouldn't be a disadvantage of him jumping in with this.
I love this paddle. It's my everyday paddle. I haven't veered or switched off from it. Comparing this to the Firefly, the one thing I noticed first with the Firefly, it's a lot lighter, and I have been looking for a lighter paddle compared to these Friday ones.
How did it feel hitting it from the baseline, serving with it?
Serves felt good.
Yeah.
I like the serves. I don't think I had a single missed serve, which I do miss some serves with the Friday one, so I love the grip.
Yeah.
Got great grip on it. I've worn my grip out on my Friday, but the grip on the Firefly, great grip. 10 out of 10. Recommend to a friend.
All right, so next up is Gil. I do believe Gil has a little bit of a tennis background, and he plays with a Selkirk S2 Vanguard. It doesn't really have a gritty surface, it has more of a tacky surface. But again, I felt like this would be a good paddle comparison for him to try. So let's see some of his gameplay and what he thinks of the paddle.
Okay, so I play with the Selkirk Vanguard, and I played with it for about a year and a half, and tried out the Firefly tonight. So the paddle was very solid in its response when I hit it for serving, and in its volleying response. And I got good power on my return, but just not power, the control that you want and the spin that you want without being over too much spin or too much. So I think it's well balanced. And the things I like and don't like about the Firefly, which are not necessary to the paddle, but I prefer a wider handle because of my age and arthritis. And then the paddle responded very favorably to just this 1 hour of game time, maybe 1.5 hour of game time, and played and felt good, but I just need more time to get comfortable with that particular paddle. But I'd rate it probably, if we were going 1 to 5, I would say probably between a 3 and a 4. And I couldn't give it a 5 without playing with it more.
All right, so that was their thoughts after one game. Yeah, obviously, it's hard to go from a paddle that you've been playing with for a while to something new. But I think it's a good indicator if you were to get a paddle, what to expect your first couple of games in until you kind of get used to it, right? Because again, I do believe that most people can transition to whatever paddle they're given and get used to it. It's just a matter of, does it have the elements that work for you? So let's take a recap real quick. The Firefly S1, something I didn't mention, it is made in Dubai, which I think is really fascinating from again, a sea of paddles made in China. It's nice to see that they went with somewhere else. That's nice and refreshing. It might help their intellectual property last a little longer, being made in a different country as well. 14.5 millimeters thick, 16 by 8 with a solid foam core construction. It is using 12K carbon fiber, textured surface, not gritty surface, not that sandpapery peel ply texture. So your spin will be capped, but because of the foam, you're gonna get a really good sweet spot. You're gonna get predictability and consistency, which is, I think, what makes this thing so freaking fun to play with. Something I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot. You get a lifetime warranty with this paddle. So lifetime warranty, manufacturer defects, I believe, but if you go to their website, it will tell you what it covers. You fill out your information, you enter in the serial number, and then you'll get confirmation that it was completed and everything is good to go. I'd love to see email confirmation as well for that, just so I could save it for my records, but you know, that's something that maybe they could work on. Right now, this is my singles paddle. I am playing singles with this. I still have another paddle that I'll be playing doubles with, but I think this is gonna be my new dedicated singles paddle because it's so much fun. Lifetime warranty, durability, consistency, and you know, they're trying to do a little bit towards the environment as well. I don't know how it's a win-win. The paddle is currently, I believe, until the end of 2024. It is on sale for $99. And if you didn't see my first review, I am trying to give back with this channel. I want this channel to be something that I can use to give back to the pickleball community. I'm so thankful for what it has given me. And so when I am doing reviews, I am handpicking these reviews for reasons that I believe in. And If I'm giving you a discount code, I am not getting a kickback. I am refusing commissions from these companies, and I am asking them to give me a bigger discount for the community because I'd rather give that discount to you rather than make a couple bucks off of a paddle sale. So with that being said, just like my last review, I do have a discount code. If you look in the description, it will be there, but it should be FF-LuckyDink, and that is 25% off. And that 25% off does stack with the current price of $99, and it will continue after the new year. So even at the original price, it will still get you a significant discount on these paddles. Thank you, Firefly, for working with me on that. I really appreciate that. And again, thank you for tuning in and watching me rant about this paddle that has had me excited. I appreciate the views. And again, until next time, take care.